And welcome back. Well, our next guest is a multi-award-winning producer with many credits to her name, including working for Oprah's company, Harpo Productions.
Alicia Haywood did something, though, that not many people could do or want to do. She drastically changed her life. She stepped way out of her comfort zone, quit her job, gave away nearly everything she owned, and started over. We're super happy to welcome Alicia back to the Yellow Couch to talk about her life cleanse. The last time that you were here, it was 2012, I think it was? 2014, and you were giving us advice for college graduates.
I was in educator mode back then. So yeah, it was, I was on a little panel. Yep. And I was very focused on how do I help the young people? What can I do? What can I tell them that's going to matter, that's going to have an impact on their direction?
So you were educational mode. Now you're in the shedding, cleansing, and refocusing mode.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Little did I know that my own direction was about to change pretty drastically. And it did. Not long after I saw you guys, I felt like I was entering a period of transition. And I knew very clearly what I was moving from, but I had no idea what I was moving to. I didn't even know what I wanted to move toward. I just knew that I didn't want to produce whatever that was. I wanted my hands off of my life because so much of my career had been about making things happen. Yeah. And so I was at this point of feeling like, I think I'm done with this. I'm done here. I'm done with this stuff. And whatever is to come next, I don't know what it is, but I know I need to clear the way so it can make it to me.
So you made room.
I made room.
Well, and I love that sort of idea because I think so often we hear, don't let life happen to you. You have to make choices. You've got to make things happen, as you were talking about. And the fact that you stepped back and did the exact opposite, I think is so counterintuitive and scary to people.
It was terrifying, but I had also spent years doing exactly that. I had spent years orchestrating what I thought was supposed to happen in my life, everything that was designing my someday.
What were those things? Kind of, because you were working for Harpo.
Well, Harpo is what brought me back to the Midwest. But yeah, I was working in the professional media industry, so I was producing. I was married. I had a whole different kind of trajectory happening, and it kind of collapsed. You know, I was in Los Angeles for 8 years, living a very different life. And when that life kind of came to a very natural, kind of organic halt all by itself, I thought, okay, the next time I entered that phase of, okay, I'm at a point of transition again, but let me do something different. Let me try this a different way. And it was very much counterintuitive, for sure. Very different from anything I'd ever done, very different from any way I'd ever done anything.
How important was getting rid of your stuff? Because you gave it away, you didn't sell your stuff. But how important was that idea of minimalism, living with very few possessions?
It happened as I made that decision about just accepting the fact that I didn't know what was next, and that's okay. And what I did was I looked around at everything I had and recognized that everything represented a chapter of my life that had already been written.
So like clothes?
I was done. I was done with this stuff, and I thought, I'm not dragging this couch across another state line. I'm not putting anything else in storage anywhere else while I figure things out. I'm just not. Let me let it go. And it was not a transactional thing for me. I wanted to just be rid of it. I wanted to just give it away. And it happened in a handful of phases. But I was very much like, do you need this or can you use this? And a lot of stops at Goodwill here. I got rid of everything.
And in that process, you'd come back. You didn't have a close relationship with your family at the time. You stayed at a friend's place in Madison, truly kind of just existing and letting things be.
Well, I landed in Madison when I returned to the Midwest from Los Angeles. It was sort of, this was while the divorce was happening. And no relationship with anyone I'm related to, but I had a lifelong friend here who was just like, come here, I have a room for you. And so that was a 4-week period back in 2008. So that was before, that was like 6 years before I got to this point of, going back into producing, building a life in Chicago, and then saying, okay, now what?
Did you know you were embarking on a life cleanse?
No idea. No idea.
It just kind of progressed.
It progressed. I didn't even know. Someone else gave it that title, and I think it was it was an interview that I did at the very beginning of this process 4 years ago, and the people who were interviewing me gave it that title, and it's just stuck, and it makes sense actually because that's what it's turned out to be.
Mm-hmm. What do you want people to know about transitioning into some place of total transition? I mean, there's this cleanse, there's this shock that came to you, and you say like these sort of moments are meant to rattle you.
Ooh, yes, but it is terrifying. It is not for the faint of heart. I jumped into it because it felt like the right thing to do. And if you are not ready to just face what is real or face what's true and get to the rawest point of yourself, I would say don't embark on this kind of a journey.
Even try
it's hard. It is hard, but it's worth it, but just be ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2018, you say, is for completion. That part of this stage. So what's next for you? You were writing a book.
Yes.
Are you working? Are you in a relationship? How is your life transitioning toward completion?
Okay, so relationship, no. but it is about completion. I am working on a book because of the way so many people have responded to this. It's really surprised me. So I've had a lot of people ask me to write about this, so I'm doing that. I will finish the book this year. I just finished a television show, AV Club. I was executive producing that. And so now I am at another natural point of transition. So I'm stepping away from producing again, and I'm going back to my focus, getting closer to what feels like my heart's work, which is really related to me being an educator. So I just launched my nonprofit.
That's right.
The I Speak Media Foundation, which is going to allow me to do my media literacy education work.
And you're going to be working with adolescents, right?
That's my goal. So I have 8 programs, 4 are targeted to adolescents, and 4 would be for everybody else.
I love it.
Yeah.
Good for you.
People can learn more about you at the website medialiteracynow.org and find out more about all the things coming up and going on, some of your programs to come out, your book potentially to come out soon, hopefully, and all the fun stuff you've got coming.
Yes.
Good
Thanks
for you.
sharing
Yeah,
your
you
life.
have to join us in your next phase.
Anytime you want me back.
That would be great.
Yeah, thank
Love
you.
having you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.